Hey everybody, today I'll be making a video about the Vlookup function in Excel. I'll assume that you have a little Excel knowledge, but that you're a total beginner with the Vlookup function. So just leave a comment if there's something I didn't cover that you want me to cover, or if something's unclear. So the way the Vlookup function works is you need your data laid out like this, with headings on the top and the data extending vertically. And the way the Vlookup function needs to be set up is you need to know what you want from the first column, and the Vlookup function will return something in the same row but in a different column. So for example, we could look up Daniel, and we could have the Vlookup function return either the sales that Daniel had or the state that Daniel is in. So we can go over here and let's keep going with Daniel. Let's say we want to look up Daniel. We can just type Daniel in one cell, and then if we want to look up Daniel's sales, we can just type in Vlookup. You press tab. The tab button on your keyboard will autofill that function. And if you're just getting started with a function, sometimes it can be useful to use the built-in function builder in Excel. When you have your open bracket on a function, and Excel shows you the arguments, that is when you can open up the function builder. To do that, you go up to Formulas on the Excel ribbon and you click Insert Function. This will give you a nice list of all the arguments that you need, and also you'll see that there's a description of the arguments that can be used if you're unsure of what to do. So let's see. So the first thing we need is the lookup value. So the lookup value is just the value in the first column, and that's usually what you type in. That's Daniel in this case. So we will just click on Daniel. For the table array is just all of your data, and you just need to select all your data here. And you need to make sure that the first column of your selected data is it has that lookup value in it. So one way to select your data is what I'm doing now, just clicking and dragging. But there is actually an easier way, which you may or may not be aware of. You can actually just click in the top left corner of your data, hold the Control and the Shift keys down, and then use your arrow keys. I can use my right arrow key and then my bottom arrow key to just snap to the edges of that data. With that data selected, I now need the column index number. So the column index number is how Excel knows which cell to use. So Excel will look up Daniel in our data, and Daniel is in the first column. Sales, which we want, is in the second column. So I've actually written up here the Vlookup column numbers. The first column is number 1, second column is number 2, third column is number 3. It can be tricky once you get to 30, 40, 50 columns, but we'll keep it easy here. Sales is just in the second column, so we can just type a 2 there. Or, to make it more dynamic, you can actually, if you have 2 in a cell, you can actually just click on that cell. Now, the range lookup is, this can be a little more advanced, but if you're just beginning, you want to type in false here. False will just return the exact match. It won't, sometimes if your data is in order, like with dates, and you're missing one date, the Vlookup function could either grab the value before or after the value that you really want. But in most cases, we want the exact match. We wouldn't want Christopher's sales if we are looking for Daniel's sales, and we wouldn't want Matthew's sales. We definitely want Daniel's sales, so I will just put in false. If you press OK, you can see that this matches. I'll just make that number a little more pretty there. And there we go. We've looked up the sales for Daniel. We could actually change this to any other name in our data set, and Vlookup will automatically look it up, no matter how big our data is. I can look up the state now. Now I can do this one a little more quickly and without the function builder. So just type in Vlookup. We want to, our lookup value is the name of the salesperson. The table array is all of our data. Once again, I can hold Control, Shift, and then use the arrow keys to select all of our data. The column index number is the column that we want the Vlookup function to return. So in this case, state is in the third column. I can either just type a 3 here, or if I have 3 written in another column, I can, or in another cell, I can select that cell. Range lookup, we'll probably want false because we want an exact match in this case. If I press enter, you can see that Matthew is in New Mexico. So now that we have this, you can actually just change the name cell to any name that you want. Let's do a hard one. Let's do Lori, all the way down here, and you can see your data could be any length, any number of cells, and the Vlookup function will look this up automatically. And there's that. Just if you have any questions, please leave a comment. If you want to see anything else, just let me know. Thanks.